tonight
Get rid of all of us.
of the agenda, because there's a lot of people here for the Manston issue. We're going to move that up the pecking order, and we're going to be discussing that next, okay?
Let's all stay anyway.
The next agenda item, therefore, will be agenda item 5N, planning application for deferral, building 870 Manston Airport, Ramsgate, Kent. Speaking in favour of the application, Mr. Alston.
Hi, good evening. My name's Nick Alston. I'm a director at a firm called GVA, and I'm the applicant's planning advisor. I've been asked by the applicant to say a few words in support of the application this evening, which I hope you will find useful. Now, in my view, the case for the proposed development can be summarised into 5 key points. Number 1, the principal purpose of this planning application is to allow a company called Instro Precision to move to new, larger, fit-for-purpose premises needed to allow them to expand. Now, this is a local business based in Broadstairs that manufactures electromechanical and electro-optical products for the defence and security sector, and which currently employs about 100 people. Now, it's been unable to find suitable premises elsewhere in the district that are capable of accommodating its growth plans, and will be forced to relocate out of the district if this plan application is not approved. Now, this is confirmed by evidence prepared by Instro, which was submitted alongside the plan application. Number 2, the building to which this application relates is located on the periphery of the airfield, with its own vehicle access on Spitfire Way. It sits alongside other premises that operate outside of the airfield boundary. It does not comprise a piece of infrastructure necessary for the site to operate as an airport. Furthermore, its use for non-airport activities will not prejudice the ability of the wider site to be used as an airport again in the future, notwithstanding whether this is a feasible proposition or not. This is confirmed by evidence prepared by aviation experts, which was submitted with the planning application. Number 3, the proposal offers the opportunity to introduce an activity in and around the airport site, which will be particularly beneficial in the interim period while its future use is determined, in terms of assisting with site security and reducing the risk of antisocial behaviour typically associated with large vacant sites. Number 4, there are no objections from KCC in terms of highway matters. And number 5, it is our firm opinion that there are no up-to-date local plan policies or MPPF policies that indicate that this application should be refused. Therefore, the presumption in favour of sustainable development should apply, and this application should be approved. Thank you for listening.
Go down with the Chuckle Brothers.
Can I have no barracking from the public, please? Next to speak on this is, offering points of concern, is Mrs. Bailey. Sorry, Miss Bailey. Ms. Bailey.
I'm speaking on behalf of all the
Microphone on.
Sorry. I'm speaking on behalf of all the supporters of Manston Airport, and I too have 5 points. Point 1. The land and the buildings at Manston Airport are still designated under the existing current local plan as being for aviation use. Thanet District Council has also previously identified the strategic and economic role of the airport in the local plan. I quote, "The Council is acutely aware of the need to prevent development that might prejudice the future operation and expansion of the airport." Point 2. To allow any change of use would set a precedent. There are already 3 other applications in the pipeline which require changing the use of aviation-related buildings at Manston Airport. If this application is granted, it opens the doors to those other 3, and then the next, and then the next, and so on. Over the past year, the owners of Manston Airport have systematically stripped it of anything aviation-related. These applications are just a further step in a cynical design to destroy this airport and turn it into a garden city or some other grow-rich scheme. Point 3. Whilst we absolutely value the contribution of the applicant's business to Thanet's economy and job market, we feel that there must be other options available to them. We feel there is no necessity to use aviation-related buildings when there are hundreds of other business units in Thanet, many of which are empty. The current policy is to safeguard this airport. Surely it must then follow that it is down to the applicant to produce robust evidence to demonstrate that there are no alternatives on sites with lawful industrial use which enjoy a policy presumption in favour of approval, rather than to have to be approved contrary to development plan policy. The applicant therefore needs to identify all potential sites and premises in Thanet and then demonstrate exactly why each site is not appropriate for their proposal. The supporting information provided did not represent a sufficiently robust appraisal to demonstrate why the buildings should be taken out of airport use against currently adopted local plan policy for the airport. Point 4. We have concerns that the development would contravene current guidelines in respect of visual impact, that is the skyline, and also that any potential groundwork could contaminate groundwater sources. Point 5. We would specifically question whether a sitting tenant on the airport site could prejudicially affect the process of any imminent compulsory purchase order, particularly if this business was not aviation related. In conclusion, until the existing local plan has been revised and adopted, the buildings at Manston Airport should be kept for aviation-related use only, as stated in the local current plan. Until a decision regarding the CPO is made, there should be no planning permission given. This council were elected to reopen Manston Airport and not to grant change of use from aviation to any other opportunistic scheme. Thank you. Please see the appendices that I sent to the councillors.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking under Council Procedure Rule 24.1 is Councillor Gregory.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll keep it brief. The report actually says it all. On page 127 of your report, the officer under conclusions says this is a finely balanced case, and then proceeds to tell us the recommendation is for defer and delegate until we've had specialist advice from the recognised air traffic control specialist and verification from the CAA, etc. Well, reading the report, I cannot see anything, sadly, that would genuinely stand up at Court of Appeal, or not a Court of Appeal, but an appeal hearing, if this council were to refuse this out of hand now. Because if we did that, we haven't looked at all the information. However, I'm strongly opposed to the recommendation for defer and delegate. I think that should be returned to defer and bring back, so that councillors can actually see the information. Then if councillors decide to refuse the application, they will have seen all the information, rather than part of the information if you defer and delegate for approval, effectively. So what I'm saying is that if it's defer and bring back, I'm perfectly happy with that report, because then councillors will make the final decision. If councillors make a decision now on the information they've got before them, which is incomplete as the report says, then at appeal the inspector will say that we didn't explore all avenues, and that would prejudice our case for defence at an appeal. And so therefore I'm asking members not to accept defer and delegate, but defer and bring back to this committee, so this committee can decide on a finely balanced case, which is the job of this committee. Secondly, or finally perhaps, I'd like to see the map updated, because it doesn't seem to cover the toilet units on it. Obviously, if you take that a little bit further, of course there is probably just cause for the applicant to want to come onto this particular site, because it will be behind a security fence then, which of course they seem to need in Broadstairs but they haven't got. Thank you, Chairman.
Bravo. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Gregory. Now, still under Rule 24.1, Councillor Ashby.